Shalom, all glorification, honor, and praise is due only unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the venerable apostles, the great millstone, along with the bishops, Wazaquanyam, who rule and teach the church well, and salutations to the elect lambs of Yasharallah, the Bath Shadoadah, which is the house of David, beginning with the 144,000, his servants, the prophets, the men of the Lord, all down to all those among Yasharallah, who hath believed our report, the men, women, and children believers. They too are going to be delivered out of this coming destruction, and that's what's coming to America. Complete and utter destruction. Compliments of the intercontinental ballistic missiles and the chariots of the Lord. I'm Shamar Moth, and I'm just going to do a quick video going into Zephaniah, the first chapter, reading verses 14 through 18, going into the great day of the Lord, all right? The day of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the day of Jacob's trouble, okay, which culminates with the return of Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly refers to as Jesus Christ, okay? But his true name in the Paleo-Hebrew tongue is Yahweh Shai, which means he delivers or he saves. And he's coming to deliver and save the 144,000 men from the 12 tribes of Israel. First and foremost, Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, along with the speckled birds, Israelite foreigners. And he's coming back to save the remaining of that remnant, the 1/3 remnant, which again consists of men, women, and children among Israel, all right, Yasharallah, who believe the testimony of the prophets, okay? So let's get right into it. Lord willing, you'll be edified through the Spirit. And again, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 14. And it reads, the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. Yeah, it's near. I mean, we can clearly see and discern the signs of the times. You know, we see that, World War III is, right at the doorstep. There's war taking place all throughout the earth right now, okay? And it's getting ready to go global, all right? It's going to be a worldwide phenomenon, all right? We see Babylon the Great, continuing to fall, okay? America continuing to fall, all right? The grind ceasing, okay? The banks failing. It's all being done by design, okay? It's all part of the day of the Lord. Ultimately, it's Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, okay, who is moving, all right, throughout this earth, all right? He's got the king's heart in his hand, man, all right? The king's mind in his hand, and he's moving the wicked elites of Esau, Edom, okay, to eventually come down, have them come down with that great wrath on the people, man, okay, because they know they only have a short time to rule and reign in this earth. All right, so this day is near, man. All right, it says, the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. And there's going to be an awful lot of crying, all right, taking place during the time of Jacob's trouble, okay? The mighty men of Babylon are going to be crying. There's going to be a lot of crying throughout the earth, but it's going to be especially, over here in America, okay? America's going to catch it the worst, okay? Ultimately, again, being burned, all right, utterly, being destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth, okay? And this is what the prophets is waiting for. This is what us, as the hopeful elect, all right, men of the Lord, who are on the highways and hedges, this is what we've been waiting for, all right? Let's see, it says, in verse 15, that day is a day of wrath. Salaki, it says a day of trouble and distress. Right. A day of trouble, okay? Jacob's trouble. All right, that's what the elder apostle Tahar, through the Spirit, all right, dubbed 2024. He dubbed it the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. All right, that's what's coming to this place, man. Jacob, of course, again, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, all right, along with the Israelite foreigners, all right, the brothers and sisters who look like the other nations, but their line on their father's side goes back to the patriarchs, okay, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. And again, all the prophets wrote about this time, all right, the time of Jacob's trouble, all right, great tribulation coming to this place, even Jude, mentions the seventh from Adam, right? Enoch talking about Yahweh's return, okay, in the ships. Let me get that in, I'll come back to Zephaniah, but this is Jude, verse 14. And it reads, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints. Yeah, and again, he is coming back to deliver, but he's also coming back to destroy. He's coming back to destroy the governments of this earth, all right? Starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's coming back to he's coming back, Salakia, to destroy the 2/3 of his own people, man. Okay? I'm going to keep reading in verse 15. It says, again, Jude, verse 15, to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So, you scoffers have got to, the Lord's fixing to whoop up on y'all, man. He fixing to bust y'all's ass, all right? All right, for talking shit, okay? For blaspheming, okay? For mocking, his name, for taking his name in vain, and for misusing and abusing his men, his prophets, okay? It's like you're going back to Zephaniah. Rereading verse 15, it says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess. Again, all the prophets, Amos comes to mind. All right, Joel comes to mind, talking about the darkness, all right, the darkness and cloudiness of this day. That's going into the nuclear destruction, okay? It says a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, verse 17, that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against the Lord. And that's your problem, man. Those of you out there among the house of Saul, right, the 2/3, your whole problem is you sinned against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. What is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law, according to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. You sin against the Lord, You worship false gods, okay? Again, you blaspheme, you commit adultery, all right? You eat abomination, all right? You sin against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You don't believe, all right? You've rejected the Lord. Again, you rejected his men. All right. So that's why all this distress is going to come upon you. All right. And you're out here walking like blind men. Okay. Why? Because the Lord has blinded 2/3 of his own people, man. All right. That's the book of Isaiah. Chapter 6 and picking up at verse 9. All right. Yeah. 2/3 of Israel right now is blind. Okay. And the Lord made you that way. All right, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat. All right, verse 10. All right, the word heart, all right, is la'ab in the Hebrew, which goes into your mind. Okay. It says, make the heart or mind of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Okay, so the Lord is the one that has blinded you. All right. He shut your eyes to this, man. All right, and closed and stopped up your ears. All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for. It says, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. See? Verse 8, according as it is written. Right? Where was this written? We just read it. Okay? It's written in several places, but we just read in Isaiah, the 6th chapter, right? According as it is written, Yahweh hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. Okay? That's the 2/3. You know, you can preach and teach a 2/3 all day long. Okay? But the Lord ain't dealing with the 2/3. All right? The Lord is casting them away. All right? They getting ready to go down too, man, right along with Esau over here in America. Okay? And these are milk scriptures. But you know, hey, it's good to bring out the milk. All right, let's go back to Zephaniah. Picking it up in verse 17. Okay, so Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 17. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Yeah, a lot of blood's going to be spilled, you know, over here in America in these last days. All right, during the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, during the time of the day of the Lord. All right, it says in verse 18, neither their silver nor their gold, Salakia, shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's, all right, the day of Yahweh's wrath. Yeah, no amount of resources that you have stockpiled or saved up, all right, money, your so-called money, ain't going to be able to buy. you ain't going to be able to use that to buy your way out of judgment, man. Okay? That's why it says in the Proverbs, so like, let me get this. In the Proverbs. All right, that's why it says this in the book of Proverbs, the 11th chapter and the 4th verse. It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath. Okay, so again, any no amount of resources is going to profit you during this time. Okay, it says riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So how you going to be delivered, all right, is by being right, man. All right, it's by being righteous. Okay, and that righteousness comes from on high. You have to be clothed with that, all right, righteousness. All right, you have to be clothed with the righteousness of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and his elect, all right, again, beginning with the 144,000, are already clothed with it. All right, that's what's going to deliver you from death, all right, not your riches. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back to Zephaniah 1 and wrap it up. Again, in verse 18, neither their silver, Zephaniah 1, it's like in verse 18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's, okay, Yahweh's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. Right, again, this destruction is going to come, all right, from the intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right? That's the hellfire that the Bible speaks of, right? There is no underground place called hell where you burn and you're surrounded by devils and little red goblins. No, all right. The hellfire that's coming is complements of these missiles, all right, which are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. By the way, those are His weapons. All right, those are His missiles. They belong to the Lord. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of His jealousy, for He shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. That's right. He's going to make a speedy riddance. All right, again, of you 2/3. All right, the sinners of the Lord's people. All right, Esau. All right, the so-called white man here in America. All right, and the heathen who refuse to go back to their own land. Everyone outside of the Lord's elect, all right, is going to perish. All right, during the time of Jacob's trouble, right, during the day of the Lord. All right, so if you're one of His people and you have not done so already, you need to repent, come back to the Lord, come back to the law, statutes, commandments. Get right with the Lord. All right, because you're running out of time. All right, you're running out of time. These things are getting ready to go down in the earth. Okay, and that's what we're all waiting for again. As the hopeful elect. So I don't want to write this out, Lord willing. You was edified through the Spirit. With that, I want to say shalom. It's on to the next video.